Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Tonight we are in Staten Island. We are heading to South Beach, Staten Island, to the strip club where a suspected snitch was killed by a Gambino crew. You might actually recognize this guy's last name because he had a brother that was killed famously also. Alright, let's flip this around and get into it. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at mooneydashcam. I post in there every single day. Please leave suggestions for future videos in the comments. I very much appreciate that. And hit the notification bell so you guys can see right away when I post a new video. Oh, there's a little lake to our left here. Look at that little Staten Island lake. Cameron Lake. Okay, the address that we're heading to is 283 Sand Lane, Scarlet's Strip Club. Like I said, in South Beach, Staten Island. Alright, so 31-year-old Frank Hydell, who's a Gambino associate. Like I said, you guys may have heard the name before from his brother, James Heidel, who was abducted by the mob cops to then be delivered to Anthony Gaspipe Casso, to be tortured and killed. That happened October 18th, 1986, because James Heidell tried to kill Casso with a crew. He actually blasted him with a shotgun. And his body was never recovered after Casso killed him. Alright, so Frank Hydell was suspected of being a snitch. He snitched on New Jersey mobsters while they set up burglaries. That's what they suspected, at least. Because in 1998, a bunch of gangsters tried to pull off the robberies and they were caught in the act. So that tells them that someone was informing. And all things pointed at Frank Hydell. Now, you would think that him just being a snitch was bad enough, but they didn't care about him snitching on the mobsters. I'm sure they did. But their bigger worry was him ratting out the Gambino associate Letterio DeCarlo for killing Frank Parasol. This is actually a little bit ridiculous. So Frank sets up a no-show union construction job for Letterio, nicknamed Lenny. Because who the hell wants to say Letterio? Let's make this turn here. Not get rear-ended while we do it. Oh, and then he shows up to the no-show union construction job and actually has to do like hard labor. So he meets the guy in a Brooklyn social club, gives him a little bit of an ass whooping, and Letterio shoots Frank in the ass. Not meaning to kill him, but he bled out and died. So this Gambino crew figures that it's better off having him gone. So on a Monday, April 27th, 1998, John Matera, a close friend of Frank and a Gambino associate, invites him to Scarlet's Strip Club just to hang out. Nothing more. Little did Frank know at the time that 7 Gambinos all planned out his murder for that night. So Frank stays there for a few hours. He ends up leaving at about 12 a.m. It's now technically April 28th on a Tuesday. We're pulling up here. It should be on the left in a minute. Now, as Frank Hydell leaves, he's outside by his 1998 white Toyota Camry. I have a picture of this, but I can't put it up because whenever I put up a crime scene picture, YouTube age restricts my video, and then nobody sees it. So, maybe go over to my Instagram, at mooneydashcam. I'll post it up there. It'll be up by the time this video is up. Okay, on the left here, let's make this turn. All this stuff. I'm going to make a U-turn right here real quick. Only in Staten Island do you see a semi-truck with a regular pickup bed on the back parked on the street overnight. It's about 9:30 right now, just to give you some perspective. Sidewalk, no big deal. Up next to the hydrant, perfect. 1998 is when this all went down. And right when I turn around, this is where Scarlet's strip club was. Now, the reason why I could tell, it's dark now, so you can't really see, but in the crime scene footage, you can see that up there. In the crime scene photos, sorry. That pillar is up there. Obviously, it's not a strip club anymore. It's a restaurant, bar. But, so at 12:15 a.m., Thomas Huck Carbonaro, a Gambino soldier and hitman, pulls up with Edmond Boyle, who's an Irishman. He's kind of like Thomas's right-hand man. Very tough dude, involved in pretty much everything Thomas was involved with. But since he was Irish, he wasn't an official guy. We all know how that goes. Thomas Huck is driving, and Edmond Boyle hops out and puts 3 bullets in him, in Frank Hydell. He was actually standing right about here, next to his car, pretty much right where this yellow window is. His white Toyota Camry was right there, and he was laying beside it, dead on the ground. Shot 3 times, some say in the back and the head, and some articles say in the chest and in the head. Either way, he was shot 3 times, once in the head. This was where the awning was, the big red awning. Say hi to the truck, don't think I forgot. So this used to be a strip club. And I was really concerned that this wasn't the right address until I came back here and saw that thing up there with these odd looking windows. See those little odd looking pointy windows there? That's what pointed it out. As you can imagine, this is all taped off, everything. So like I said, he's found laying face up next to his car with the door open, keys in the ignition, whole thing. And then the beliefs of him being a snitch were actually confirmed, which rarely ever happens, in 2004 during the Peter Gotti trial, where a former FBI agent said Heidel informed on crimes on between 10 to 20 mobsters. Now, Thomas Dono and Letterio DeCarlo both helped plan and were present during the murders. Dono got proposed for induction into the family after this involvement. So his body was pretty much laying like right there. This part was a parking lot. It wasn't all barricaded off for probably outdoor seating. This is the block. And I'm not sure at the time if this was all one. Oh yeah, it probably was, because it's all one restaurant now still. Now, people didn't get in trouble for this for a long time. In 2010, DeCarlo and Dono got 15 years each. DeCarlo was already serving a sentence for the murder of Frank Parasol, the guy he shot in the ass and bled out. Edmond Boyle got 20 years. So many people ratted on this, I couldn't even keep track. Frank the Fappiano and Michael Scar's DiLeonardo, who both ratted, confessed their involvement in this murder also. Back in the truck. Now, I couldn't tell you why so many people had to be involved in this murder. It's a recipe to get caught, because once one person gets caught, they snitch on everybody, and it seems like everyone just ratted on everybody in the situation. Very bad crew to have this put all together by. And then in April 2020, John Matera also got 20 years. But in April of 2020, he begs to be let out of prison after getting COVID and already having a kidney infection and hypertension, and it was denied. Here is the letter that he wrote to his lawyer. I'm sick as a dog. I have every symptom. It's in here like crazy. Man, I don't want to die. 21 years and a cold kills me? What a schmuck. That's a letter he sent to his lawyer trying to get out. That was like April 1st he sent that. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. That one was nearly impossible to find information on. I don't know why it was so hard. And it was so convoluted how everybody was ratting on everybody, and there's it took so long for the sentences for the people to be sentenced. Very weird situation. But either way, see you guys in the next one.